let's get to the mail. Let's knock out some of the mail here.
Right. I forgot I was doing this. So that's since Disco's at the hotel and his computer is being repaired, I'm going to read the emails this week.
To be very excited.
Yeah, very, very. My voice just revs people up into excitement, But this is from Big Rig, and the title is Boogie Oogie Oogie. He says, "I want to thank Mr. Inferno." Wow! As soon as I start, I want to thank Mr. Inferno for allowing me to make gym pants that replicate his 1997 TV title run gear. He was right. I did get some looks from various ladies. I'm unsure if they were looks of lust or disgust, but at this point in my life, I will take either. My question is regarding the standing figure 4 you did, often called the Boogie Oogie Oogie or Last Dance. What made you decide not to use this full time? And did you ever consider doing a DDT variation? You could have called it the BG's T. Have a great day, fellas.
I don't know why I stopped.
BG what?
BG's T instead of DDT.
It was just part of an angle. The move was like this, like some secret move that was given to me by my old Italian relative. So
yeah.
But then I just started using the stunners because it was a better move. So.
Next is from Mike Durbin, and the title is Caucasian. Yeah.
All right.
Caucasian basketball.
Conan, do me a favor. Conan, pull your microphone up, and then do the kazoo again and see if it sounds better. Pull it up and do the kazoo.
Up?
Yeah. Now do the kazoo.
Yeah.
That's better. It's better. Yeah. It's still better. Yeah.
It's something about them being the noise canceling headphones that it won't pick that up. But I replace it every time though. I fix it.
All
so
right.
I have 40 old kazoos to choose from, But okay, this is from Mike Durbin, Caucasian basketball players. Hi, Glenn, Elmer Feeney, and the Boston Celtics' most handsome fan. What do you guys think about Dennis Rodman's recent comment that Larry Bird wouldn't make it in today's NBA and that he'd be playing in Europe? Mike Durbin. P.S. Glenn, please reconsider K100's booking at the NWA 75th in St. Louis next month. According to Nabil Badi, Conan is a broke has-been who drives a car, lives in a house, and can't afford to buy his wife a birthday gift. Thank you, Mike. That's great. Had to PS that.
Right. So I will not be vacant to St. Louis. What was his question?
What do you think about Rodman saying that Larry Bird wouldn't make it in today's NBA and he'd be playing in Europe?
Well, Jokic, they probably would have said the same thing about Jokic. I mean, he plays just like Jokic. He's a good pass. He'd be a great NBA player today because NBA, you got to know how to pass.
Right.
Like Larry Bird could pass. So yeah, he'd be. That's a terrible comment.
But he's always had heat with Larry Bird. When he was maybe a rookie or second year guy, he got in a lot of trouble for saying if Larry Bird was black, he'd just be another player. He's only special because he's white. So he said that back in the day.
Bro, that's true because in the 80s, they were saying that a lot, that he was overrated because he was white, and it got started by Rodman. Yep. And Isaiah Thomas seemed to agree, and then later on he pulled back. But that rumor was circulating so much that one day when I was on our naval base here in Coronado, California in the 80s, Michael Cage, I don't know if you remember him, Disco.
Yeah, I remember him.
He was a center, right?
Yeah. Right. He was a former San Diego State and played for the Clippers first round draft choice. Well, anyways, he was on our he was on our naval, right? He was on our naval basketball court and he was training there. And I asked him about that. And then he goes, that's crazy. Nobody wants to play against Larry. Nobody wants to defend him. He does the little things that nobody else does. And I said, like what? Like, for example, he goes, he'll take a shot. And while everybody's like looking around and getting in position, he already ran to the basket to grab his own rebound. Like he does little things like that. And I said, I knew it. Bro, I'm a humongous Celtic fan, as you know, and there's been a lot of great Celtics, but he's my favorite of all time. This guy brought us to 3 championships. He was a finals MVP in 2 of them, like 10 plus times All-Star. But there has been heat between them for whatever reason. I also think that Rodman, being the master of propaganda and, getting clickbait and all that, is doing this to like get attention. There's no way he can believe that. No way.
Let me say this too.
Yeah.
anybody that questions that, bro, there's just tons of video evidence for you to look at.
Highlight reel on him.
Just go on, but pull up a Larry Bird pull up like a 7-minute Larry Bird highlight reel and ask if that guy couldn't play in the NBA.
Right. And here's the other part.
Not only can he not play in the NBA, he's one of the best players. Like, you're just looking at his film, you know?
Now it's coming out years later on all these like ESPN 30s for 30s. Like, they'll have guys like Gary Payton. Remember him, the glove?
Right. Yeah, of course.
Who was outspoken and doesn't put any over the elbow. He was like, this man was a tremendous. During a game with us, he said, I'm going to get the ball. I'm going to get the ball. Nobody else. I'm going to go left and then turn around and put it in to the right. And he goes, I'll be damned if he didn't do that. And, bro, and I've heard a lot of stories like that, you know? He was ridiculous, bro. He was special.
Who was
and he didn't look like much either.
Yeah. If Bird was your favorite player on the Celtics in that era, who was like second and third? Was Robert Parrish or who'd you think?
Probably like McHale, Dennis Johnson. They had so many great players, but I like the old Celtics, like Dave Cowens, John Havlicek, like, you know, that era too. They were good too.
Sure, hell of a deal.
And then of course the big three with Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen and Paul Pierce. Love that team.
This is from Gabriel, and the title is EO Sky. Am I even saying that right? EO Sky has no charisma. Hey, K100 crew, I wasn't planning to write about EO Sky again, but I just can't let Conan get away with this. While he has reluctantly agreed that EO is a great in-ring worker, he still thinks she has no charisma whatsoever, or as he likes to call it, that Mike Pence charisma. I would like Conan to explain to his viewers how is it possible for someone with zero charisma to get over as much as she did. She gets great babyface reactions wherever she goes, and we're not talking about the smart crowds from NXT anymore where she was also over. If that's not because of her charisma, then what is it, Conan? She's not fluent in English, so you can't say it's because of her promo work. You also can't say it's her booking, which has been bad overall with Damage Control. Is it purely her in-ring work? How many wrestlers have gotten over simply because they were great technicians? Can't really think of one. Meanwhile, your boy Karrion Kross cuts excellent promos in perfect English, but he still can't get over. So please, Conan, give us your definition of charisma, since maybe it's different than 99.9% of the population. I would love to hear Disco's take on this too, but he probably doesn't care. Thanks.
Kind of a cynical email. I'm going to suspend that. Let's suspend that guy for a week for his tone. Yeah, for his tone in the email, because he was very condescending and not respectful. Go ahead, Conan.
He was heated.
Yeah, I'd like to add another week to that.
2 weeks. Yeah, it's him too.
You say that you can't get over because of you're a technician. Yes, you can. She's getting over because she's a good wrestler who does cool shit. And I did not reluctantly say she was a good in worker. I've always known she was a good in worker. Bro, she worked for AAA when she first started. And I've always known that, like Charlotte, Bailey, Becky, Bianca, Rhea Ripley, like those are I might be missing one or two. Those are like the best workers, and I include her in that. But since I know you're what's this guy's name?
Gabriel,
the EO simp, nothing. And I think you think I don't like her, which I do, and you seem to be infatuated with her, you know. And I'm sure that if she had an OnlyFans, you'd be the top contributor and biggest tipper. But dude, when I think charisma, I think Bianca or Sasha or Trinity or Charlotte. I don't think acting goofy when you walk to the ring and underacting and glaring during promos while Bailey and Dakota talk is charismatic. Maybe people just like her, bro, or think she deserves better, but I'll double down. She ain't charismatic. Charismatic, Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns, Paulie, Bianca. I mean, bro, she is not in that list, you know? And as for Kross, bro, he hasn't even gotten 1/4 of the time Damage Control has, but you're right. He hasn't gotten over like I expected, but he hasn't really been in any programs. He withdrew for a cup of coffee. The Ray thing was quick, and AJ just beat him clean. So I don't even know what they're doing with him.
Short match too, right?
Yeah.
Pretty short. All right. This is from Tommy Herman.
Would you like to add anything to that, Disco?
Oh, yeah.
No, the guy said I wouldn't care. No, I'm just not interested in EO Sky because she doesn't speak English. So it's difficult. Like if you talk about she's charismatic, I'm not into her because I don't know anything about it. Like if I ask you like what are some things about EO Sky's character that you can tell me? And I don't think anybody can tell me anything.
Yeah, Shaq's goofy.
Well,
not as goofy as Oscar, but
I know no personal things about her. I don't, she doesn't speak English. She doesn't. I don't care. It's like, I'm not going to knock fans that like her and she's getting over. She's getting over. That's fine. But I'm not a fan. So.
Right. I like her in-ring work, but she's not charismatic to me.
Right. All right. What's next, Joe?
Next up, this comes to us from Tommy Herman. The title is Travel. What up, K1 Bow Wow? You guys got to travel a lot during your careers, but what are some countries you haven't been to yet that you would like to visit? And that's from T-Bone McKenzie. P.S. Now that it's summer and hot outside, I try to avoid standing in the sun. Does that make me addicted to the shade?
Okay, let me tell you something right now. Okay, no. We said last time, lifetime ban.
Oh.
Because they already know it and they do it anyways. And they already know it, trying to be funny. They do it anyways. And on top of that, I think that whoever's reading the letters, whether it's you or Joe, take a few seconds to read it ahead of time so we don't have to read their question and then suspend them. Like, you're not even going to get your question read.
Well, that's T-Bone McKenzie suspended. So you're not going to answer.
Get another name and try again. And if you try again, we're not going to read it.
Yeah.
Lifetime, not suspension. It's lifetime ban.
Yeah. I'm going to have to start suspending IP addresses.
Here's the best part. If he tries to send in another mail, and he ends it that way, it won't even be read. So
lifetime ban.
Taking a hard.
That's a good way to shorten the emails too.
Right.
Because we spend a lot of time in emails. So if these schmucks want to keep trying to do the addicted to the blade,
get over on Discord. Oh, I said one. Look how funny. They got mad. They only put me out for 2 weeks, but I'll be back. All right. Yeah. Well, guess what?
I wouldn't mind. This guy too. If I see him in the streets, I wouldn't mind. How about you? Would you?
Yeah,
would you agree with that?
Yeah. Especially if I was armed with something. Yeah.
like a tire iron or something, right?
Yeah, like I'm walking with a cane and the guy's like, oh, poor guy. And then I turn around like a blade comes out of the bottom with smoke. Right. Just out of him.
You're going to start gutting him, right?
Sack full of marbles.
Impaling him.
This is from David Humans. And this is the title is La Hiedra and Lady Shani. What's up, fellas? Big fan of the show. My question is for Conan. With the success that guys like Penta and Phoenix have achieved in the States in recent years, I was wondering how you think La Hiedra and Shani would do here in America. They seem to be used well in AAA. In my opinion, they'd instantly be two of the hottest women on any show. Since most of the companies force women's wrestling all throughout their shows, it seems strange there haven't been any luchadoras. Appreciate the time and keep up the good work. David from Florida.
Well, the thing with the luchadors is none of them have the work rate that a Vikingo or the Lucha Brothers have, but a lot of them are just as good as some of the girls in the U.S. But, I'm still, what would be the word, cultivating them because, for example, I felt I was cultivating Commander and I wasn't going to release him into the U.S. for another maybe 6 months. But, he got a lot of buzz and they took him really quick. But to me, he still wasn't ready. And, I don't want to send the girls until they're ready, but they'll be ready soon. And they ain't the only ones. I think Sexy Star would get over. Lady Maravilla would get over. We've got about 5 girls that'll get over in the U.S. for sure, but they're not ready.
This is from Harry Ruiz, and it's titled
Friend of the show.
Hee-Ho Day.
Joe, whenever Harry Ruiz sends an email, you should play the clip of him calling the Chandler Jones interception for the Raiders thing.
I got it. I have it saved, yeah.
Yeah, you should play that. Go ahead.
Quick question for Conan. Is it a real thing that there are wrestlers that won't take bookings if their son isn't booked as well? I've seen a lot of independent shows where L.A. Park is wrestling and both his sons, Hio de L.A. Park and L.A. Park Jr. are also in it, but as part of the undercard. Same case with Dr. Wagner Jr. and his kids. Plus, it felt the same way when Roosh won the Ring of Honor title, and out of nowhere, his dad went from being ringside celebrating to a couple of shows later, he was in 6-man tag matches with Roosh and Dragon Lee. If true, is it good for the wrestling industry that a father is trying to take care of his son by requesting bookers to put them on the same card? Or is it just another case of nepotism in the world? Thanks, fellas. Harry Ruiz from Las Vegas.
Well, the thing is that these guys, none of them are bad. Like Park's sons are not bad wrestlers, and Roosh's dad, even though a lot of people don't like him, he did very good when he was with us for almost a year, when he was with Roosh in a trio. The problem is you don't want, you set a precedence. Once you start doing that, other wrestlers are going to want to hook up their brother and their mother and everybody else that are a relative or a friend. So it's not a good business practice. But a lot of times they will not come if you do not book, said family member.
Okay, this is from Brock Miles. The title is, Did Disco place bets while on the booking committee? Hello. Vince Russo had a segment on his Sports Kita show where he talked about gambling and wrestling. Russo said while Disco was on the booking committee at TNA, he would secretly be betting on the matches overseas. Disco, is there any truth to this? Thank you, Brock. I did hear this.
No comment.
Oh, no.
Well, there was a site called thegreek.com, and it was a max that the max bet can make was $50.
Yeah.
So it was just like it was an insignificant amount of money, but like we'd bet bet the max. I'd have my friends. I'd tell them I didn't do it, but I would tell my friends who to bet.
Which is something that we all brought up as a point.
Yeah, like 2 or 3 guys.
They legalized the WWE. If they put the WWE,
they'd win a couple $100 bucks. They'd win a couple $100 every now and then. So it wasn't like it wasn't like a big deal.
Did you ever get swerved?
No.
Like, did you ever?
No, how can he get swerved?
Because they changed.
He's on the booking committee.
No, how would I know?
Something happened in the ring, and the other guy had to get, whatever. Okay.
No, never happened.
All right. Jason Turpin sending us an email entitled Hoovy Jr. Hey guys, last week Juventud Guerrera announced on his Instagram that his son is going to start wrestling as Juventud Guerrera Jr. Hoovy made the below post to respond to online skeptics, saying the guy wasn't really his son. Is Hoovy working everyone to try to build up his own promotion? Or is it really his son? Does Conan or Larry Dallas know any more about this? Thanks, Jason Turpin. P.S. question for Conan. I'm not sure why Disco continues to use Billy as a news source after all the went down. Is it possible he has battered women syndrome?
What does that mean? I just referenced a tweet that Billy put up about it. He said it's like, I'm not using guys as a news source. I'm just saying everybody, their mother on that London show is having different reports. Like if you look, there's not one official report on how many tickets have been sold. You go on people's sites and everybody's reporting different ticket amounts. So I'm like, okay, well, when the show happens, all the people, we'll see how many people showed up when the show goes on. It's like, that's the only way I could source anything,
When is the show?
August, like maybe 4 weeks away, like August 12th or something like that. Well, Joe, find out when that show is. Mm-hmm. They haven't even announced a card yet.
No, not a match.
And people are actually sitting there complaining. There's a lot of people saying, like, if they're doing that show and the main event is like MJF versus Adam Cole, everybody's going to be kind of disappointed. But everybody who's already bought the tickets, they don't care what the card is, which shows why I was like adamant that it's going to draw very well. It's because it's just the event. They're at Wembley, first time overseas. Everybody can drive there from around the UK and stuff like that. It's going to draw a massive house. They haven't announced a match. And like, it's funny. Think about that. They've sold out. They're going to sell like almost. I'm just going by the basic reports. Report I've read said there's like 12,000 tickets left to be sold. They set it for 87,000, so they sold 75,000 tickets. Is what I've read. Mm-hmm. Billy says there's only 38 events sold, which is fine. But so I don't, whatever. Okay. But what I'm saying is that it literally is showing you that not one person on that show is a draw because they've already sold all the tickets. They haven't announced anybody. Think about that. It's like, bro, this could have been like a great spot to announce the main event. And you could have like sold, like, oh, wow, like look at this guy can draw. They haven't announced anything yet. Like they announced the match and sold all these tickets, and we don't know who drew the house.
That fan base just supports AEW as an idea,
right,
and as a promotion,
right, exactly. What do you think about that?
Let me explain to you,
no match has been announced. It sold 87,000 tickets, or 75,
70.
Well, I wanted to get back to just because he said that if you suffer from battered wife syndrome, and you were like, "What's that?" That's like when you're beating up your wife, and then no matter, and she's like, "Oh, he's beating me up. He's beating me up. Well, leave him." And then all of a sudden, you go back to the guy that's beating you up.
Right.
You know
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
how sweet he is.
Right.
So, and then the Juventud thing. You know who will be right when he writes in English, right? He always somehow messes something up.
Right.
He said that he's very happy that him and his son will be able to wrestle as a couple. Just so yeah.
We'll be able to wrestle as a couple. That's what he said. Oh my god!
The best of all is that I will be able to. I would be able to fight as a couple with him. It's a huge blessing to share this. Yeah,
that's great. But he said that's his son. It isn't. And I don't know what's the big deal if it is or if it isn't. If he gets over, he gets over, right? And this guy originally had the name of like Octagon Junior, Hijo de Octagon. So the original Octagon took a liking to him and gave him the name. Then they had some sort of falling out. Then he was Dark Zorro, which was supposed to be, this wrestler in Mexico called Zorro. And now he's Juvi Jr., but that's not his son. He does have a son. But that ain't him.